Hey everyone, Ronnie Rowe back again this week for another episode of my YouTube channel of Ronnie Rowe Designs. And if you're new to this and you've never seen my videos before, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Ronnie Rowe of Ronnie Rowe Designs. Been doing counted cross stitch now for going on 42, 43 years. Started a long time ago, and so I'm still active, still doing it, and so still really enjoying it a whole lot. So if you're new to my channel, welcome, and for the folks out there that are coming back for a second, third, hopefully fourth, fifth time, welcome back. Hope you're doing well, and hope you've had a great 2 weeks or so since we last did one of these videos. Got my teleprompter with me. As you can see, some notes written down that we want to talk about this evening. Um, last 2 weeks, what have I been doing for the last 2 weeks? And before we get started, hit the little subscribe button. I say that every week, and that'll give you a notification when we do one of these videos. If you subscribe, I guess you can unsubscribe. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet myself, but anyway, I appreciate it if you do. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what I have, I don't have any elaborate props. I don't have an elaborate setup. I'm just in my office. I set up here, and what you see behind me is basically what it is. All this bookcase with charts on it, with paper, pictures. Over here in the corner, you can see bolts of material. Um, so anyway, this is what I do. But anyway, welcome back to each and every one of you. Tonight, what do I want to talk about tonight? The last 2 weeks, I've been doing some stitching, doing a lot of stitching on Orleans. That's a project I've been working on now for about 3 months or so. And right now it looks like I told you I'd be finished it sometime in September. Well, it's September the 11th right now, and but I won't be finishing it in September. Probably sometime in October because stitching's going along, but it's really a big project, and I'll show it to you here when we get in a few minutes after we talk about a few other things. Um, I hope each and every one of you are remembering 9/11, what happened on that tragic day, and keep all of those people that were directly impacted by that in your thoughts on this day. It's a sad day for the country, but one that we should celebrate as Americans together. Okay, so what else I've been doing? Stitching. Been doing some framing this week. Framing for some people and everything. I did some framing for a neighbor of mine. Said I'd never do it again, but I did. I went out and built the frame for her, and got it all mitered and all the rabbits and everything. And so I'm planning on this week and helping her. She did a really pretty cross stitch design of some flowers and everything. So, and she wanted it framed, and so told I'd frame it for her and mat it, and so we're going to work on that probably Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I got the frame all done. So anyway, been working on that. Been thinking about a new design. You know, I had some designs that I told you about, opera thing. I told you about some Volkswagen vans that I was going to do, an old mill I was going to do, and I do have those, and I have those all designed out and everything, but they're just not. They're good. I like them, but something else hit my mind I wanted to do, and so I'm gonna shove those backwards a ways, and so I'm gonna still get to them. I'm not gonna put them out. I will not put them out on my Facebook page or my website or SD until I stitch these. So that you won't see my designs go out there until I stitch them. So that's my plan right now. That's why really you haven't seen anything out Orleans, because I'm still stitching Orleans, and I tell you October. Um, I guess it'll like October this year. Yeah, it will be. Um, anyway, design, my new design. I'm looking at that. Sad moment this week. I was so sorry to hear one of the best entertainers I'd ever seen. I went years ago in Virginia Beach. I saw Jimmy Buffett, and I was fortunate enough to go to one of his shows, and wow, that was fun. That was fun with all the parrot heads and all. So we had a ball at that thing in Virginia Beach. So sorry to hear about his passing, and he'll be sorely missed in the music world and around. A lot of people really enjoyed Jimmy Buffett. So anyway, got that out of the way. Arms, arms. People asked me, Ronnie, how come you got bruises on your arms? Yes, I see you. You got bruise there. You got one up here. Um, I have for years and years. It's an inherited thing, just on my arms. All I have to do is go out and work on something and bump my arms, and they'll bruise. It's not serious. I've been to dermatology about it. It looks bad. It just the way my skin is. I guess when you get to be 76 years old, you have these things happen. But it's been going on for about 10, 12 years, or maybe longer than that. But only on my arms. My mother was the same way, my uncles. And so anyway, and they just fade after a couple of weeks. They'll fade up and gone again until I get another one. So anyway, no concern about my arms. Tonight, um, I want to talk about my design selection, material, color, framing, size, large, small, and I want to give you some of my thoughts on that. First of all, design selection. Somebody asked me, how do I come up with a design? How do I find a design? Well, the truthful answer is I'm not sure. It's something I have to think of, or something I see, whether it's on anywhere, whether it's a picture I've taken years ago, whether it's a picture I see on YouTube or one of the other channels, photograph, and but it has to catch my eye, and it has to be a picture that I think that I can really do something with, something that I can elaborate on the picture, add stuff, take stuff away from the picture, recolor it, use different colors on a picture, and something that really interests me. And I guess an example would be, someone said, "Are you going to do any more of the dogs?" Because I did 6 dog pictures, black and whites of dogs, and the answer is no. Because if you go on Esty, for instance, let's say Esty, and type in dog cross stitch, you can get every type of dog imaginable on the face of the earth. I mean, how many dogs can you do? Do different dogs, and they're all out there. They've all been done, and by various artists, and all well. They all done very well on these, but um, you know, you want to try to come up with something a little different than that. That's why I go for various subject to subject. It's something that strikes me that I ought to be doing. So anyway, my design selection is something that is always been a problem for me. It's always been how can I say it? Something that I'm really interested in it. When I come up with a design, first and foremost, am I going to enjoy it? I don't care if I ever sell one. I don't care. I'm not in it. I'm not in it to put it on, market it, and put it out there. I do that, obviously, but it has to be a design I'm interested in. It can't just be not any kind of design. It just has to be something I'm interested in. And a lot of things have all been done. I know that we coming on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then I know Halloween. My God, everything's been done for Christmas that I could even dream of coming up with. I can't even come up with anything that hadn't been done with Christmas. I mean, there's so much stuff out there. So that's the example. That's what I mean. I try to come up with something a little different, a little bit different that someone else hadn't really done. So anyway, that's the design process I go through. Material wise, I have always stitched. That's just me now, just me. I've always stitched on 18 count white. I had a cloth. That's what I get. I've always gotten my materials from various manufacturers, whether it be a shop, and now I get all my material from Winchell Imports. And so they give me my materials for my designs. And so as a designer, and I called up, and so I deal with those folks, and they're absolutely phenomenal with me. They've treated me very, very well over the many years I've been involved with Witchell. The other thing is colors and framing, the color. I think if you're going to do a design and you're going to come up with a design, you ought to, before you come up with what you think you want to do, you ought to have some concept about how you want to frame this thing, or even if you want to frame it. Some people don't frame them. Some people, well, if they're smaller designs, we'll talk about that in a second. What are you going to do with this? How are you going to frame it? What it would look good framed? A lot of pictures out there, they go down. If you spend an enormous amount of time on a cross stitch project, or even a painting, if you will, and it's a fairly large piece, medium to a large piece, and you put a lot of work in that thing. Don't go down to Walmart and buy one of these 69-cent frames that you can get with somebody's picture into it, and take their picture out and put your picture in and think it's going to look good. Don't do that. If you're going to buy one of the little Walmart frames, and we buy them for family photos and everything, but what we end up doing is leaving the picture of the person that came in the frame from Walmart. We leave that picture in and don't even put our pictures in it, because those folks look a lot better than we do. And so now they're sitting around the house. We don't know who the heck those people are. We don't care. People come in and say, "Oh, that's a nice, who is that?" We don't know. We just like their picture. But I'm just kidding. But anyway, don't go down, spend tens and hundreds of hours on cross stitching and get you a 69-cent frame. It's not going to work. It really won't work. Now, I know some people will say, "Oh, well, I did that. Mine looks great." Great for you. I'm happy for you, but it hadn't worked for me yet. So anyway, that's about the framing. And we'll talk about size. What size do I, excuse me when I cut a fan on, it's hot in here. We talk about size and what size you want to do. There's all kinds of sizes you can do. There's the small things, and I know I was looking in magazine recently that I got, a national magazine. It had a lot of pictures in it. There's a lot of small things being done, and very well. Let me say, they look fantastic. But if you're going to do, you're more apt if you do something that takes 5 hours to stitch or one night to stitch. I think this is my opinion, I think you're more apt to take that and throw it in the closet or throw it in your bag with the other cross stitch than go in and have it really framed up nicely. I think if you do a larger piece, something that you put a lot of effort into, that's got a lot of detail, and something that really strikes you, I think you're more apt to go down and have it framed or do the framing yourself and have that displayed like that. So that's my opinion. Everything that I have ever done, from my first design, the Colonial series, Colonial Williamsburg series, I framed every one of my pictures. I have never done a cross stitch picture and sit there and spend hours and hours, days and weeks, like it's New Orleans, it's Orleans I'm telling you about, and sit there and spend months and months stitching and just throw it in a corner and never framed it. I've never done that. Never will do that. That's not finishing the project to me. The finished project is your framed picture all completed. Then that's a complete package. So, but anyway, I wanted to go over that. That's some things I wanted to talk to you tonight. Orleans. Where am I on Orleans? Well, I'm down the bottom. I'm going to show you where I am, but it's still got a ways to go. And yeah, I can see my bruises there, my cuts, my bruises. But anyway, I've still got a ways to go on Orleans. And right now, and this doesn't look good, I know that because this just got out of the hoop and I pulled all this stuff out. But you're now seeing basically of where I am. This hasn't been stretched, this hasn't been washed, framed, all this. This is just rough material right now. So hold on one second. I got a I don't know who that was, but anyway, If you look what I've got, all of this right now is I got across the bottom, which you see, and then we're going to go down to the street and everything. But this is the Orleans. This is a lot of work. This is the one that has 5 colors in it, from the black, which is 310, to 472, which is a real light. I think it's 472, yeah, which is a light gray. But anyway, once they get finished on this, I'm going to show you it all framed up, and I'm going to show it to you without the glass in it, because I think that's going to show the reflection you see. What am I going to do with Orleans? Well, Orleans will be entered in the Woodlawn Show coming up in January of 2024. I think we have to have those in sometime in the middle of January, around that time period. I'll fill out the applications, everything. I got several pictures I'm going to put in this year, and Orleans will be one of them. That is a show outside of Washington, D.C. It's a Woodlawn Plantation. You can look that up. That's and you look about their needlework show. They have a lot of events throughout the course of the year. It's a historic plantation. And what I have seen in all my years doing cross stitch, I have never been, and I know I'm limited. I mean, there might be, and it's just me. I haven't seen anything with a quality of work in detail and as you see at Woodlawn. Woodlawn is exceptional. The things they have there are just mind-boggling, what people can come up with and people can do and stitch and design and create. Every one of these pictures at Woodlawn they have hanging are framed very, very well. There are no pictures at Woodlawn that you would sit there and say, look at that. You wouldn't. Every one of them, and there are hundreds of them, are beautiful pieces of work. And so I'm going to enter this one this year, and I'm going to be building a frame. Matter of fact, I went to Home Depot today and bought wood that I am going to do this one in a wood frame that I am going to fix up to make it look like a metal frame, if you will, with paints, with spray paint and decorative edge. And so I've got to build this frame. I got the wood today, and I know what I want to do with it, and I think it's going to turn out very, very well the way I'm going to map this particular picture. And then I will take that to Woodlawn and enter it up there. A couple, as I told you before, several years ago, I had one called Flight, and I actually won the Director's Award from Washington, D.C., the director of Museum of Washington. I won the award for that, for my picture Flight, which I felt great about. I mean, that was just wonderful, I thought. So, because that show, if you're lucky enough to win a ribbon, second, third, or whatever you win at Woodlawn, you've done pretty good, because the competition is extremely competitive, and so got some very, very good people there. You don't see anything like that in a trade show. They don't have at Woodlawn. You'll never see Woodlawn with how can I say this? You don't see Woodlawn with a lot of small type things, cutesy. I use that word. I shouldn't use it, but I did. Cutesy little things that people like, bunnies and everything. You don't see that at Woodlawn. You see really, really classical type, good stuff. You really do. So if you're ever in that area, please go to Woodlawn Plantation. I think it's about a month they're open, month and a half, where everything's on display. So I talked about the wood and the spray and what I was doing then, and showed you this project. The other thing I want to talk to you tonight about is my original designs that I did for Colonial Williamsburg, for myself, but for Colonial Williamsburg, where I went to Governor's Palace, Chewing's Tavern, Raleigh Tavern, Bruton Parish Church, and all of those. There were 15 that I started out with when I first started in the cross stitch world. After that, some years after that, I wanted to do something else with Williamsburg, but I didn't want to go and make them as large as what I had done, those original 15. So I came up with what I call the Colonial series. And the Colonial series were 8 designs I came up with: the Stitchery, the Colonial Courthouse, Shirley Plantation, Colonial Woodshed, scene looking down Duke of Gloucester Street, Carter Grove Plantation, and the Powder Magazine, and what I call Walkway to Spring. There were 8 designs in this that I did at that time, and I call them the Colonial series. And the reason I'm featuring that tonight is because I've had quite a few orders from this in the last couple of weeks, or even beyond a couple of weeks ago, and last month. They seem like they've gotten to be very, very popular again. And so, and what these are, I'll show you the leaflets that I have. The Stitchery. This is the outside. It's hard to see, I guess. This is the leaflet you get for the Stitchery. And this is a building where they did stitchering back in colonial times. And the inside of this, it's got your design to go through, and the backside, all of the colors and instruction you would need. And each one of these are displayed like this. And of course, this one here is the Colonial Courthouse. So that's right in the middle of Duke of Gloucester Street in downtown Colonial Williamsburg. And again, same format and everything on these designs. They were done back, it's been a while since I did it. I copyrighted each one of these in 2014. That's when these were done. 13, 14, and 15. It took a while to do them. But each one is not very big. They're 140 by 160. Every one of them the same size, and 140 by 160. A lot of detail, a lot of colors. Most of these have anywhere from 20, 21, 22 colors in them, but there is a lot of detail in each one. The Stitchery and the Courthouse, and like I say, I have the other one, Shirley Plantation, Carter's Grove, Powder Magazine, Colonial Woodshed, and all of these. They're out on my on my SD site. They're also on my RonnieRoweDesigns.com, my webpage. So anyway, but I wanted to show you those tonight, what I had done following up on the Colonial, my original Colonial designs. So anyway, I hope you enjoy those. And anyway, they're out there. What else is going on? Not much more is going on. I just want to, I'm going to continue on with the Orleans. And then I've got something new. As a matter of fact, oh, by the way, I talked to the folks today at Winchell Import, ordered some material, and I ordered something today that I haven't ordered in a long, long time. I ordered something different than white 18 count I-8 material. And so I've got an idea of what I want to do, something a little bit different on. And so anyway, they're going to be sending me the material to work this new project. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, because I'm not even sure it's going to work, but how it's going to look. So I'm gonna pick at it anyway. Something I'm interested in. What else is going out there? Not much as far as want to take back a statement. Take back a statement. I said, I told you a couple of weeks ago, if you're doing something in monochrome, one color, got to use white. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can use anything you want to use. It's just me. I'm kind of a old guy that's stuck in a rut, stuck in one thing. And so change doesn't do very well for me. That's why I guess I've always used DMC instead of using Cokes and Clark, J and P, or Sullivan, or somebody else. I've always used DMC. I guess I'm just a creature of habit, if you will, of what I've been doing. But I did order today some different color material that I'm going to try something a little bit different, and I hope you'll like it. We'll see how it goes anyway. When I talk to you again, I'm hoping to have a frame built for Orleans and be able to show you that. I might, I guess I'm thinking about doing another video. I did a video here a while back, one of my first ones, showing you how I go about framing something or how I go about cutting everything, the fabric. No, I might do that, or I might even go into my shop and show you on the table saw and everything, and the router, what I do with a piece of wood and how I go about building the frame. I don't know, but anyway, if I can figure out, if I can get my wife to hold the camera. So anyway, we might do that. So, but until then, I thank each and every one of you for sticking around. I know I've been rambling on, but I hope you got something out of it. I hope you're doing a lot of stitching. I hope each and every one of you are enjoying the weather. I hope you're not being impacted by the weather. Here I am in the eastern part of Virginia, and we've been certainly keeping our eyes on the hurricane that's out in the Atlantic right now. It looks like it's going to miss us, but maybe go up north, Boston area down that way. And we hope the best for those folks if that does happen. But anyway, I hope each and every one of you is staying safe. I hope each and every one of you are able to get outside, do something other than stitch. Don't sit there all day and stitch. Get outside, run around the block, reshingle your house, redo your piping, look underneath the sink and find out if the pipes are all matching. And then I change them out. Do something other than stitching. Get outside and enjoy yourself. And I know I've done a lot of stitching, but I'm sitting there, it's college football right now, and I am not stitching. College football takes precedence over all of that. So I really enjoy that. So, but anyway, until next time, as I always tell you, when I leave you, is one thing I want you to do, please be safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.